Okay, let's go. I'm quite excited to show you what I prepared on the topic of the rook. So we have 9 exercises in total, so let's just dive right in. So the first one, we just have to find where the white rook can move. So we have to find the only square, which is d6. Then we can have something like this. So we have to move the rook to a green square. So if you set rook g2, you're absolutely crazy. Who wants to capture their own soldiers? But it's the pawn, yeah, that we can capture on b4. So that's the right answer. And then you can have something like this, yeah, so white rook to capture, what to capture. So here again, let's not be crazy, yeah, and instead rook takes the pawn on g4 is the right answer. Next, find the fastest way to the red square. So pause the video. How many moves do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, let's move on. Exercise number 5. Okay, this one is kind of similar from the ones that you can find on Lichess website with those stars, with all the stars. So I replaced the stars with pawns, and we have to capture them all as fast as possible. We have to capture one pawn per move. So let's go. Let's go here. Nyami, Nyami, Nyami. Okay, I'll be quiet with Nyami. Annoyed. Let's go left or right. Doesn't really matter. Let's go maybe to the right first. And we did it. Good job. Okay, now let's... Ooh, spicy ones. More interesting now. Starting with a rook tour. So we have to move the rook around the chessboard so it goes on each square. Can only go once, yeah? And we have to finish on the square h1. Here is a funny fact. If you want to do the same thing, but you want to finish on h8, you simply cannot do it, yeah? You can trust me or you can try it for yourself. Okay, you can pause the video. Here comes the solution. I'm sorry, I picked the most boring one. There are other possibilities that are, let's say, more interesting. Yeah, I picked the most boring one. Next, another rook tour. This one is a little bit more challenging because we have to finish on the same square. So yeah, again, we can only go once on each square, but we have to return to the starting position. So we have to return to e4. And the solution is here. Next, we have this interesting exercise with, placing 8 rooks on the board. So, A, every square is attacked except the 4 in the center. And remember, a piece does not attack the square it stands on. So you can pause the video. And here we have the solution. Now, that every square is attacked except the 4 corners. Here is the answer. C. Every square is attacked except c3, c6, f3, f6. And solution. And finally, the fewest squares are attacked. And the answer, so we have 39 squares. That's the fewest. Okay, next we have this interesting mini game, yeah, this rook rook duel. So it's a game where we play with 2 rooks of opposite colors. The white rook starts on a1 and the black rook starts on h8. White moves first. The rook moves along ranks and files as in a regular chess, yeah, but they are not allowed to put themselves under attack, or, this is very important, cross over squares controlled by the enemy rook. The player who makes the last move wins the game. So actually here it's kind of funny because white starts first, but white is actually lost. It's like this: whoever starts first loses the game. Yeah. You can try to figure out how. The key thing here is actually to stay kind of diagonally. You want to stay. So let's say if white starts and plays, let's just pick, I don't know, d1, black will follow this move. He will play h5, just kind of stay diagonally. So let's say rook goes to d4, we go to e5. So just kind of staying diagonally. Yeah, slowly, slow kill. Yeah, waiting, and eventually now white rook has no more moves. Yeah, so it's game over. And here I have a few more exercises. Yeah, so white to move. Who wins? It's black, right? Of course, because white has to go to a1, and after rook b2, white rook is trapped. Next, what is black's only winning move? Yes, rook b8. Yeah, so diagonally, and we squeeze and we squeeze, and we win. Yeah. Okay. Next, find black's only good move. So same thing, right? Diagonally. So rook f6, which wins the game. Black to move. Who wins? So unfortunately, if it's black to move, it's white, right? The one that wins the game. So I don't know. Let's say rook goes here. Diagonally, we just, just wait, and eventually we win. Yeah, white wins. White to play, which side has a winning position. So here again, yeah, whoever's turn is it, that player loses basically. Yeah, so we stay, yeah, we just go diagonally like this. We wait, we squeeze him, and we win. Yeah. Okay, and find white's only good move. Yeah, now I'm pretty sure you know. Yeah, so rook b3, and so on and so on. And finally, this one is very interesting. I found this exercise again in the Sam Lloyd's book. Yeah, I replaced. Originally there were 4 knights. I replaced them with 4 rooks. And so what you have to do here, you have to cut the board. But don't really take the, mom, take the scissors and cut the, now your computer. Like, I mean, you can, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, you don't need to, cut the board like that. Yeah. So cut the board. You can draw the lines or something. Yeah. Cut the board into 4 identical parts so that each part has 1 rook on it. So yeah, feel free to pause the video. Wish you good luck. It's a tough one. Actually, this puzzle is quite tough. And here you have the answer. Here is the answer. And with that, we finished this chapter. Thank you so much for your attention. See you in the next video. Bye.